Andito tayo ngayon sa train station. Galing kami ng Stabia. So, time check mga kagre. Dumating kami dito ng 4:50 in the morning. So, ang inaantay namin ngayon na lumabas yung train platform namin para papunta naman Roma. So, dito lang mga kagre. So ayun mga kagre, sa ating pag-antay ng halos kalahating oras, nakapasok na tayo mga kagre sa platform ng train na sasakyan natin papuntang Roma mga kagre. So ito mga kagre, yung train namin na sasakyan papuntang Roma. So naghanap kami ng kung pang ilang bagon kami mga kagre para doon yung sasakyan namin. So ngayon mga kagre, update ko na lang kayo kung anong mga kailangan nating kunin doon at babayaran para sa ating bus na sasakyan pag-ikot ng mga tourist destination mga kagre. So kita-kits na lang mga kagre sa Roma. So karon mga bay, naabot na ta diri sa Roma. Pag mapalay paggawas na mo sa train station mga bay. So karon para sugdan na to ang sayos kamuntagon, mamahaw sa ato ang soki mga bay sa McDonald's. So guys, padulong mi karon sa COLOSSEUM. Pababa nami. Naguna-una si Kamis guys. Excited si Kamis. Ito guys. Guys, dito na kami sa baba. So adto ta dito kamayo. So karon guys, nanagin mi dire sa ubos. Mangita mig unsay mga maayohon ani dire. Yan guys. Oh, okay ra. Abre man ang kuan? Tubig? Okay ra. Oh. So, mao din yung mga katikaran dire guys. Murag na may bayad nig mosulod ta dire. Murag. Amo na entrance. Entrance. So, dili kayang atong mamaya tanong natin. Yan. 35 ata? Ha? 35? Saman? Sudlo na to? Kaya lang sila eh? Ha? Para sulit ba? Sulod ta? Oo. Oh, ginatong yan ni Dari.
Culture in English.
Sana.
Spectators, 80,000 spectators complete the concert smoothly and quickly. So take a look at this wall. This is original, made of bricks and walls. It's covered by that. And take a look inside. You see the concert inside is much better when we get one level. But anyway, see, from this point of view, that there is nothing the blocks of marble and everything used for 6 pillars. They remove almost everything. I want to show you the piece of the painting machines. It is very crowded, so I will use a flag. About the radius before leaving. Get close. So I'm going to use the flag now, starting from now. Okay, remember my side. You can remember very well. Okay, this is a piece of paving which is original. All pavings were made like this, in white marble, but there is very little of this marble. Most of the pavings are like that, remains incomplete. Now, we will pass beside a restroom, but I don't suggest you to use the restroom of the Colosseum. I suggest you to use the restroom of the Roman Forum, which are the restrooms of the Roman Forum, much cleaner. But anyway, let me ask you, do you have any agencies? Anyone for the restroom soon? No one? That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Take a look at the walls. They're full of holes. That's because they removed even the clamps and the brackets used by the Romans to keep together the big block historically. They were used the bronze and the iron. And take a look at the painting. It's full of columns in pieces. They removed even the columns. Some use. But again, not really effective. So when they did the first restoration of Siena, done it for fire, the silence of the directly by the president or Joseph Holiday. Joseph Holiday wanted to make a sort of exposition with the few columns still found in the Colosseum at that time. Make space behind you. This corridor is too narrow. So stay on this side. Take a look at those two pictures. So if they represent the Colosseum, how it is and how it was. How it was on the top with the Velario on the top. It was a sort of roof to protect all spectators from the sun and from the rain. It was made of several thousands of small sails, and the word for sail in Latin is vela. That's why it was called Velario, from the word vela. In the center there was an elliptical hole called oculus, which means eye in Latin. That's what it's like. There were the sailors in charge for the Velario, for the maintenance and the Velario, and to do the maintenance of the Velario. They lived in the barrack and by the Colosseum. Now we are going to move one level up. There is a lift only reserved only to people with walking problems, over 73, and pregnant women. Do we have any? Any pregnant women? Go on, make sure. Okay, so we are not allowed in the use of the lift, we are going to use the steps. You see how stiff were the steps. Anyway, Don't worry. Usually 10% of the people survive the climbing. And besides being a tour guide, I'm also a swimming coach of the Italian Swimming Federation. So if you want to exercise, just tell me. We can move up and down 10 or 20 times. Take a look through the windows, you can see how thick were the walls. The Romans could support this kind of thick and heavy walls with advanced materials, so like the bricks and the molds, and advanced techniques, so like the use of the arches, differently than the Greeks, who used the columns to support the buildings. If you remove a few colors from an ancient Greek building, like a Greek temple, for example, that building will collapse. If you remove even all colors from an ancient Roman building, the building will not collapse. For the Romans, the colors were just decorations. The Romans took a lot from the Greeks, but developed a lot. We should be thankful to the Greeks and to the Romans before we are so much advanced thanks to them, to both of them, but especially to the Romans. Get close. Take a look at this picture, which shows how were the seats for the spectators. They were divided into small sections, what we call four sections, 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first was reserved to the most important people, including the imperial family. This is a seat reserved to the imperial family. Senators, councils, people of noble families, wealthy people, had their seats reserved to on the first level. And there were characters between each level and this. Like this. This is that color, but then we are going to use to see the Colosseum inside. There were passages and stairways which connected all levels with the others. The first level was made of white marble, which is more precious than travertine, because it was a level reserved to the most important people. The other 3 levels were made of white travertine. The 4th, which was on the top, was without seats. They are calling me from the agency. Attilio, dimmi. Keep giving you an explanation, but the explanation will be completed by another guide who will come to replace me, because they are calling me for a group in Japanese. Okay? Now, anyway, let me continue. So, the first was made of white marble. The second, third, and fourth levels were made of white travertine, which is less precious than marble. Anyway, a good material, but less precious than marble. For the rest of the population, women are the most important people, the most important families, could sit with their families on the first level. But women of the rest of the population only sit on the second and third levels. They had to stand on both, with only standing house. Okay, don't worry. I used to say it was the Roman way to protect women from the lions, because it was a safer level on the top, right? Somebody else said that it was just the opposite, to protect the lions from the women. Let's put it this way. Now, take a look at this model, the model of the Colosseum. Quanti ce n'hai? 2, ok, allora tu sei là. Okay, he has only 2 people, so get here, right here. Okay, now, take a look at this model. Let me repeat, for people who joined the group last second. that the Colosseum was built from 72 to 80 AD, from the period with the Emperor Vespasian to the period with the Emperor Titus. Then finally it was inaugurated at the time of Titus on 80 AD with 100 days of everyday shows. 100 days, a long inauguration. At the time of the inauguration, there was not the underground level for the preparations of the show. They made the underground level for the preparation of the shows. 20 years later, it was the 100 AD. When there was not the underground level, they could use the Colosseum even for naumachías. Do you know what kind of shows are the naumachías? Boat battles. They use small boats to commemorate more ancient naval battles of the Romans. So for the naumachías, it means that for the naumachías, there was a need to fill water in the Colosseum, just like a pool. How could they fill water in the Colosseum? It was not a problem for them. Let me remind you that the Romans invented the aqueducts. So in only 3 hours in the morning before the shows, they could fill water very quickly. And at the end of the day, they could drain the water very quickly in only 1 hour with their very good sewerages. The Romans invented also the sewerages. And after that, after making the underground level, there was a need to make a ground level, a platform, a wooden platform on the ground level for the shows, for the other two kinds of shows, Venaciones and Gladiator fightings. You know what are the Gladiator fightings, right? Because maybe you saw many movies. Start watching movies, they are full of false information. And about the Venaciones, do you know what kind of shows are the Venaciones? No? Venaciones were sort of hunting. For the Venaciones, they use animals. For the gladiator fighters, they didn't use animals, only gladiators. Many different species of animals, including lions, tigers, bears, and very dangerous animals. So that's why there was a need to make a net all around. See the model of the net all around. There was a net to protect those spectators on the first level from dangerous animals. They used to put a lot of sand on the platform. The word for sand in Latin is arena. The English reading of arena is, the English reading of arena is arena. That's why these kind of amphitheaters are also called arenas, like the arena of Verona. Sì, vengo, arrivo. Take a look at this. See the model of the lift. They use the lift, they invented also the lifts. The elevators for you Americans, but you Americans are not the only ones who say the word, we use the word elevator. The Japanese people in Japanese imported this American English word, so they say elevator like here. The elevators the same kind of mechanism is moved by a complicated system of bullets and ropes. They also use inclined planes to move up and down everything that they do for the shows, including animals in cages. Now let's move this way. When we get inside, you will not see the original platform. It's not there anymore. It doesn't exist anymore. But you can see a small piece of the platform. The new platform was elliptical, 75 meters by 40 meters, and it covered the whole elliptical area. Now we remain, you can see, it's a small piece of it. Most of the area of the elliptical area is without platform, so you can see the underground level. You will see some people on the platform and some people in the underground. And those people have a special reservation, so don't ask me to go there. I don't suggest to buy that kind of tickets. It's just wasting time and money, because you can see much better from the points of view that I'm going to show. It's a new way to make money, really. Get close. Let me tell you once more the size of the Colosseum, which was the largest amphitheater of the world by elliptical, just like the other more or less 400 amphitheaters, 188 meters by 155 meters, 188 by 155, not feet, meters. So just multiply by 3 to figure out the feet, okay? I don't think you need a calculator. And 50 meters high. The platform was 75 meters by 40 meters. Take a look at that. On the channel here, you can see the ruins of the Ludus Magnum. The Ludus were residences and schools of gladiators. There were many Ludus around the Colosseum. That was the biggest one. Magnum means the biggest. It was the only Ludus which was connected with the Colosseum by an underground tunnel, the Tunnel of Commodus. It takes its name from the name of the Emperor Commodus, an emperor of the 2nd century AD. So that means that it was not made very soon. The Emperor Commodus was one of the worst emperors in Rome's history, but his father, Marcus Aurelius, was one of the best. Good father, bad son. Like Julius Caesar and Brutus, like Septimius Severus and Caracalla, like Massan and me. Pronto?
Ciao.
Ci vediamo di fronte alla croce, a corridoio sovrano, ma di fronte alla croce, va bene? Pronto? Allora, non sotto, non al piano terra, al corridoio sopra, di fronte alla croce, esattamente di fronte alla croce, va bene? Grazie, ciao. Ok, take a look at that. That wall is not part of the original construction of the Colosseum. It is part of the first restoration, the most important restoration, made at the end of the 1800s. It's a work of Joseph Valadier. He wanted to make the wall to stop the collapsing, because removing lots of materials across the centuries, they weakened the structure so much that half of the two external walls, there were 4 elliptical walls, the two external walls were the highest, 15 meters high, and half of those 2 walls collapsed completely on this side. See the difference in the height. That is the real height of the Colosseum, with the 2 external walls still standing. On this side, there is nothing of the 2 external walls. You will see that much better when you get outside, when you leave the Colosseum, because the exit is on this side. You will follow my colleague, and when you get in the outside, you will see that the worst preserved side of the Colosseum. When you enter the Colosseum, you saw the best preserved side of the Colosseum, which is that. Now let's move this way. This club, these brackets above our heads belong to that restoration, the first restoration, or the end of the 1800s. Don't stop on this balcony, please. It's nonsense. It is too crowded to take good pictures. So if you follow me this way, you will see that you will find the main place much better than that. Let's keep together, please. Let's keep together. Don't leave the group. If you need to leave the group, even for a few seconds, please tell me. Don't do that. Don't keep your radios and leave the group with your radios without telling me, please. The radios have a cost, 50 euros each. Okay. And take a look at those brackets. They belong to a very recent restoration. There were a few restorations. They made few restorations, not only the first one. The first was the most important one, but they made few more restorations. For example, one was a very important one was the restoration made at the time of Mussolini, when Mussolini was the prime minister of what? He was the prime minister of what? Italy. Be more specific. Not the let me tell you, not the Italian Republic, but Italian Kingdom. It was a kingdom at the time. Italy was a kingdom till the end of the Second World War. It became a republic since 1946, June 2nd. Let's move this way. Most of the European countries are kingdoms, not republics. Anyone from UK? No one? Take a look at this. Few steps are in good condition. The rest of the stairwell, this stairwell was destroyed. You can see there is nothing on the steps. But you can still use the steps, as you can see. Okay, you take it to the right, so you can see the platform. This is the platform which was remained 55 years ago. That's remained. Let me repeat that. The platform see the result of the restoration. Over there, look, I'm indicating that small piece of the seats with my flag. On the opposite side, you can see a cross. That cross was.
Sometimes they would, for those who were able to read, they would write
since the consecration, the Pope Benedict XIV, 1754, wanted to consecrate the Colosseum. Consecrating the Colosseum meant that to protect the Colosseum. The Colosseum was protected since the consecration, because if you consecrate something in a Catholic place, in a Christian place, in a Christian country, that building of the place will be protected, will be respected and protected. Colosseum was in use since till the beginning of the 800s for venaciones, and till the beginning of the till the beginning of the 700 for gladiator fightings and venaciones. Till the beginning of the 800s, only for gladiator fighting. After that, the big destruction began in the Middle Age, especially in the Middle Age. The Colosseum was used as a fortress, as a residence of noble families, and as a quarry to remove raw materials and needed to reuse. After the consecration, it was finally protected and respected. See also the cross. The cross on the opposite sides are wanted by Benedict XIV at the time of the consecration to commemorate the city reception of the imperial family was exactly above the cross, and there were 80 gates around. 4 were the most important ones. West Gate is definitely the most important was reserved for the imperial family, because closest to the imperial house, and it was reserved for the imperial family. It was exactly that one. Look, that is West Gate, indicating to you West Gate with behind a small crowd over there on the ground floor. East Gate, North Gate, and South Gate. Families. The other 76 gates were for the rest of the population. But nobody had to pay anything to anyone, so it was free for everyone. Because the emperors wanted to be popular, and they knew that people were listening to shows. Let me tell you something more about the gladiators. What kind of people were gladiators? Most gladiators were slaves. Let's get here, please. Let's get here. Most gladiators were slaves without Roman citizenship. But there were also Roman citizens, some gladiators who were Roman citizens, so wanted to make money with this kind of job. And they could even enjoy that money after surviving a few years of fightings. What happened to the gladiators who were forced to do the non-Roman citizens? At the end of the story, after surviving a few years of fighting, they could get the Roman citizenship, a lot of money, freedom, and the Roman name. That name was usually named Liberty, which didn't mean liberty, it's just the opposite. It is just the opposite. Liberty, the word liberty comes from the name Liberty. Okay? So, most gladiators were able to use one single kind of weapon. The most important kind of weapon was gladio. Gladio was a short, thick, and heavy kind of sword. Why they could use one single kind of weapon? Because it was very difficult, complicated, and costly to get lessons for years and lots of exercise to be ready to the use of one single kind of weapon. Imagine 3. So very few gladiators could use 2 kinds of weapons. Nobody could use 3 kinds of weapons. At the end of each fighting, when the winners and the losers are lying on the floor in front of them, it is true that they used to have the emperor's wish and to. But it is not true that the emperors usually order to kill the opponents. And usually, they order not to kill the opponents for economic reasons. I told you how costly it was to prepare ones for the winners to ready for the first show. And also for political reasons, because the emperors wanted to be popular. How could they be popular? suppress order to kill popular gladiators. Gladiators were considered as heroes by the people, who were waiting outside the Colosseum at the end of the day by thousands of people wanting to get their signatures. Just like nowadays, they wait for football players to to make selfies with them. Football players or soccer players, like you say, and Japanese too. Japanese say use the word soccer too. They don't say soccer. They say soccer. They open the arm. So for these reasons, and let me tell you one more false information, more point. The use of the thumbs. It is false. It is completely false. They use the index, not the thumbs. Now, my colleague is coming. I completed my explanation. My colleague is coming. He will give you just an orientation of the Roman form. For the orientation, you don't need the radius. So let me collect the radius and keep the earphones. We don't recycle the earphones. Give me the radius back. And you follow my colleague to the Roman Forum. Okay? You just listen to his orientation, or the not explanation, orientation to the Roman Forum, and follow him to the Roman Forum. Once you enter the Roman Forum, you can say to 4:30. But remember, if you miss the crossing time, tomorrow morning they will open again at 9 o'clock. So don't worry.
Come to fighting here inside. He must have 1 year training outside. And this part outside in this part before was gladiator schools, a gladiator area was just for gladiator schools under 91, after change it to 7. Each sport have a different name, different clothes, different arms, different way to fight, quite different. Look at it to be more fun, more Galas, French, Sparta, Greece. Even the name of gladiator comes from the name of arms and the clothes he had before. 1 year training after allow for him to fighting up arena until die. But not all of them died, because in case gladiator win 10 times in 3 years, he gets his freedom. Second case, in case one of the famous gladiator he lost one time, Emperor he left him alive and put him in gladiator schools to give another gladiator training. Last important case, in case of Emperor he needs somebody to protect him, like bodyguard as we said before. From who? From another gladiator. Why? Because the Emperor before had a psychological arena. Maybe one of the gladiators he had running up that attacked him. That's why he needs somebody to protect him. They give it the faster and the best gladiators and freedoms to take because of him, to protect him from another gladiator. Was fighting with blood here above arena from 80 until 404. You know, 404 is a number not found. Google, 404. Was last time fighting with blood. Was between the famous gladiator, but after 1 minute, one of the senators he put himself out of arena and he said no blood anymore because God said no blood, because Bible said no blood. One of the gladiator killed the senate. After the emperor was called Honorius. He was Christian. He's standing and said no blood. And he said we can give the people entertainment without blood. Like wrestling. Wrestling today it's a fake. Nobody died. He said he wants to come to fight here without blood, just for money. He must come from the city. He must have had 1 year training outside to get a muscle. After, allow for him to fighting up arena maximum 10 times on 2 years. Who's won before, he takes the money from senators. Who's lost, he tried again until 10 times on 2 years. With fighting without blood from 404 until 523. 523 is happening here earthquake. With earthquake, let's go back from here, from the side, such long as nobody comes here inside until the last of 500. The last of 500 comes here the famous Christian man rule. This man was so smart because this man started to use it first floor for homeless and the poor family. And the same man he started to ask a rich Christian family to come here every day to help the poor family and the homeless. And he asked the people to use it first floor like a church. It was a famous pub in the time. And he asked all people who comes to offer him to use it first floor, even like hospital, but just for Christian people. You know, the last 500 was so strong Christian city. That's why most of the people was Christian and they tried to use it just for Christian. The moment this time, he asked for all people come to offer him to help the poor family and to home this first floor and they use it like a church. That's why from the last 500 until 1130, first floor uses for homeless and the poor family. Again, first time was fighting with blood until 404, no blood 503, homeless 1130. What's happened after 1130? Just you can imagine all of this building changed into castle for one family. One rich family come to live here inside. This family was called French. It was looked like Medici. You hear about Medici? Medici is 1208, but we talk about 700. This family was so famous. You know Frenchman? I'm sorry, you know Frenchman crepes? Fun cakes, fun cook. Frenchman? The name of this cake, crepes, comes from this family. This family was living before. Where is Naples now? You hear about Naples? Napoli? Naples? This family come from there to live here inside was commercial, was so rich family. This family changed this building to castle. Below this whole arches was bricks. Second floor for some bedrooms, first floor for some animals and created a big market. This family was controlling London, not just here. This family lives here from 1130 until 1204. What's happened after this family? Comes another family, was called Chilini, who lives here until 1382. What's happened after? The famous Vatican. The start of this moment, come here is a famous one was called Clement. Let's go to see from here. Vatican from 1675 until 1725 had a project. If you look in here underground now, Vatican had a project before to build here, where is underground, second St. Peter Basilica. You know how many years to finish St. Peter Church? And how many years to finish St. Peter Basilica? 120 years to finish St. Peter. After comes the Vatican to build the second St. Peter. The famous Pope Clement, he started to ask the people offer. He started to send all people, cardinals, door by door to ask the people offer money. And he brought here the famous sculptor, the famous architecture, was called Luca Fountain. Who's Luca Fountain? The man he finished the work inside St. Peter Basilica. He comes here and he did a big project to build here second St. Peter, 50 years. From 1675 until 1725, Vatican had a project to build here second St. Peter, but never happened. Why never happened? Because was nobody agree with Vatican. What's happened after? Comes here Mussolini. You hear about Mussolini? The famous Mussolini. He comes here the last of 1922, and he had a project to build here palace to lead Rome from here inside. But comes to Vatican and said, where you go, brah? That's my part, brah, you know? Vatican said for Mussolini here, it's my part. What Mussolini did? Mussolini was so smart. Why was so smart? Because he's know. Once he attacked Vatican, meaning attack American and the British. Once attack Vatican, meaning attack Christian people inside Rome and outside of Rome. That's why Mussolini, he guns the north of Rome. 10-minute walking from here. And he built for himself a big palace with big arches, and he called this palace Square Colosseum. Until now it's called Square Colosseum, built by Mussolini. Mussolini was so smart even because of Churchill. I'm sorry, how about Churchill? Churchill? No? In a way. No, Johnson Churchill. He said Mussolini was so smart because Mussolini has started to pay the Vatican a lot of money from 1924. I think all of you know Vatican is a different country. From when? 38 officially. But Vatican from 1924 was totally a different country. And the Mussolini paid money for Vatican because he wanted to keep Vatican and the Roman people calm. The first time Mussolini he tried to attack Vatican, Roman people killed him. That's why it was so smart in Mussolini to keep the people calm until 40. If you look in underground now, before 217 underground was made with wood. but 217 underground get a fire. This building was closed from 217 until 222. Was closed, and who's come to create underground was bricks? Assyrian. You heard about Assyrian? Babylonia? Yeah, I know you know. You know these people? Yeah. You know Babylonian Bible? These people has come to work closer from Roman people. These people has come to create underground with different bricks. These people even comes here to create the biggest solarium. These people comes to work closer from Roman people, and they created bricks. You understand what I mean? Solarium, veil, tent, roof, something to cover. Okay. Solarium, something to cover. In case of raining, Roman people uses the water rain to clean washroom before. Was the first time. In this time, 222, Rome was totally changed with Assyrian people. Was the first time Assyrian people start to teach Roman people to build like towers, like Babylonia. That's why 222, the famous Emperor Alessandro Severo, he created big coins, and he put above these coins the symbol of Babylon, and he put the symbol of Solarium. He wanted to say for all Roman Empire, we changed our architectures, we created the biggest Solarium. Underground floor is not used for animals. Underground floor, the first reason used for naval battle. You know what I mean, a naval battle? Where from? Okay. Capisci l'italiano? Underground floor, Titus Tito, he asked to create underground and they followed with the water. And they brought boats to fighting inside. The first reason for underground naval battle. As I said before, Roman people before was so strong with the water. Aqueducts. Roman people before was so strong from 5th century BC. And this time was 11 aqueducts in Rome. Was so easy for them to follow underground with the water and they brought boats to fighting here inside. That was the first reason for underground a naval battle. If you look on the right side in there, you will see a few seats. You see the seats in there? That's a marble. Everywhere here before was covered with seats. How's remember how many seats? 15, not 15. Capacity, more or less 80. Fun information, I'm sorry, just funny. Who started with me before? Said this building is finished in 8 years. When? 80 AD. How many entrance? 80. Capacity, more or less 80,000. How many to room for Usher room? 8. The oldest Usher room, 80 AD. Everything before was number 8. Why number 8 was so important for Roman people? I'm sorry, I'm talking about Roman history, not Persian, not for China. Because for China, number 8 is so important. But now I'm talking about Roman history. Why number 8 was so important for Roman? No way. Number 8, months infinity.
Yeah.
It's fake news. You know fake news? A lot of fake news everywhere. No, it's not true. Fake news is not true. Number 8 is so important because Octaviano, Augustus, the son of Julius Caesar, was 27 BC. You know August? The name of month comes from where? Augustus, you know. Augustus, yeah, in Greek. In Calimera.
We're very inspired by this.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Information more. Said this building before was covered totally with marble. Where's the marble gone? Vatican. Who's come to take off all marble? It started from 1503, the famous Michelangelo. You know Michelangelo, Barberini, all of these people come to work here to take off marble from here. Again, how many seats? Great. Meaning capacity 80, seats 50. How many person was standing? 30. That's why the people comes here in the morning so early to have a sip. The first 100 days was free entrance. After 100 days, no money, no honey. The people comes inside with QR code. You know QR code like today? No, really. Nobody believed me. Why? The people comes inside before with ticket. Above the ticket, the number of gate and the number of corridors. The ticket for our family was made with terracotta. For senators, it was made with bronze. Above the ticket of Senate, the number of gate and the number of them seats. Why? Because it started senators to invest money inside. If you look on from here, the seats in there, in case if you go close, you will see the name of Senate until now. Was here before, everywhere was covered with seats. 50,000. I'm sorry, was looks like here. Just imagine, before everywhere was looks like here, was covered with seats. First floor marble, second floor marble, second floor travertine, last floor wood. Where is the seats again? It's not true. You know, I love. The last of 15th century comes here, reaches Roman families to take off all seats from here to build them palaces. That's why if you go close of the Spanish steps, Trevi Fountain, Colosseum Vatican, you will see all palaces built by Travertine was here, even bricks from here before. Fun information, fun information. We talked before about stairs. Those asking me stairs is a little bit hard. You remember stairs before? It's a little bit hard. Roman people before call the stairs here inside vomitorium. You know vomit? Throw up, vomit. Roman people call the stairs here inside vomitorium. Why? Why Roman people call the stairs vomitorium? Not because the people come to vomit, no. Because Roman people before was short. The taller one Roman before was 1 meter 20. Roman before used small arms. Roman before exit so fast, like this building, vomit the people. Because the people exit so fast, like this building, vomit the people. Not the people come to vomit inside. That's why it was called vomitorium, because the people exit so fast from here. The first arena is not here. The first arena in Verona. You hear about Verona? Romeo and Juliet? Shakespeare? You hear about Verona, north of Italy? It's older than here. Second important arena, Roman Forum. Who's a famous gladiator comes from Rome BC? No, it's true. From your country. It's not country now. He's not country. It's not true. I'm sorry, Spartacus. But Sparta is not part in Greece. But let's say Greece is not part, because geography before was so different. Yeah, I know, now you can discuss with me. It's Spartacus, okay? Anyway, the famous gladiator comes before Spartacus. Who's the famous gladiator comes here inside? Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
You know, you know Russell Crowe? Maximus. Maximus. Before Spartacus, and here Russell Crowe. And here Russell Crowe. Last important information. Last important information. You remember the cross? Why is this cross here from the last of 1922? Why Vatican comes here 1922 to put this cross here? Why? Because Vatican comes before Mussolini. As I said before, Mussolini, he called himself a new emperor. You know Mussolini, he called himself a new emperor, and he had a project to build here palace, to lead Rome from here inside. But comes the Vatican so fast and builds the cross, and he said, no way, that's my part. From 1922 until now, the Pope, he must come to pray under this cross. He must come to do audience under this cross. If you come here in Easter, if you come here 25 October, this building closed for public. Who comes here? Just the cardinals and the Pope. Meaning here it looks like a church. Meaning here it looks like part of Vatican. Meaning, who controls this building now? Under control of who is this building? Vatican. That was a famous reason from 1938, the first time Vatican did a big deal between Vatican and the Mussolini. In this time, the Pope Benedict, he said, in case the Pope he go one place every year, at least one time, to do audience inside, meaning that under control of Vatican. Vatican is get separate from Italy in 1938, but was totally different country from 24. Vatican and we have two different countries in Italy, Vatican and San Marino. You heard about San Marino?
Yes.
It's from 24, it's not 38. That's why Vatican was so strong from 24, because it takes a lot of money from Mussolini. You have any question here inside? The people will start with me. You have any question here? If you want to ask me, I'm here. Any question?
Siyempre.
Okay, please, I will be appreciate it. The people will start with me before to give it me all of your radio pack, no earpiece. The earpiece, it's a gift from Colosseum to you. To remember Colosseum, just radio. Give it me a radio pack. And exactly at 11:30 outside. You have 10 minutes. Go down, here is stairs, and meet me outside. Give it me a radio pack, please, before you go outside. You understand me?
Yeah.
At 11:30 outside. If you go down now, you will see stairs. Go down, and you will see exit. Go outside. I will wait all of you.
Ah,
Ikot sa ata.
thank you. Thank you.